SCP. Secure, Contain, Protect. SCP is the umbrella term for a community writing project, stemming from a 4chan post in a paranormal forum in 2007. Today, SCP has its own website, with over 7,500 catalogued objects and thousands more short stories. All of these pieces of writing circulate around the SCP Foundation, a sort of shadow government organisation that specialise in finding and containing anomalous objects and entities. This is best displayed by their mottos, the main one and the acronym being Special Containment Procedures, and the less known, but equally understandable, We die in the dark, so that you may live in the light. Now, of course, this universe spans a lot more than just the SCP Foundation, with many other groups like the Serpent's Hand and the Chaos Insurgency. As a community writing project, it's hard to explain the true expanse of the SCP Wiki, and that is why I'm starting this series. That's right. I am going to be taking you on a journey through the SCP universe, mainly focusing on the expansive list of items and entities, with the occasional deep dive into a character or tale. It's truly incredible the quality and quantity of works that are on this site, so I think they definitely deserve to be given the spotlight. Another incredibly important concept to understand before you begin reading into the wider universe of SCP is the concept of headcanons. Now, scrolling through the internet and reading as I'm sure you enjoy doing, you have most likely come across the term canon. Now, in storytelling, canon refers to genuine work. It refers to things that take place within the actual continuity of the story being told. For example, there are Five Nights at Freddy's games that are not canon. They actually do not have things to do with the main story, and that is one of the things that defines them. They aren't actually canon. That's it. That is literally the definition of the word there. Now, a headcanon exists in a very specific type of writing, but it can exist anywhere. It's just especially encouraged within SCP. With the vast quantity of works created in the SCP universe, it's impossible that there isn't going to be overlap and contradiction. But instead of making certain things definitive and deciding that other things should be thrown out of the window, the SCP universe says, whatever you think, whatever you want to be the correct outcome from that scenario, is the correct outcome. While this can form those contradictions, you can then decide which side of the contradiction you think is true, and then that is your headcanon. I think another good way to explain headcanons comes with the multiverse theory. The theory that for every action, there are infinite universes where it is slightly different. Every single thing that you can think of happens somewhere in the multiverse. For example, there is a universe where absolutely everything happens exactly the same as it has here in ours, except whilst I am recording this video, my chair is 2 inches to the right. And then for the rest of eternity, everything is the same as it will be here. And that would be an entirely different universe, and there would be infinite more of equally small, tiny changes to everyone and everything. And I think that's a really cool concept. It's why multiverses are used so much in media now, because people have started to actually find this theory and explore it in reality. And it is cool. It's definitely a cool theory. So the SCP universe can be thought of as a multiverse, where whatever you think is your own little universe. For example, let's say in one tale, there's an interaction between two characters. Let's call them John and Scott. Now, John and Scott have a friendly interaction. They speak on good terms and then go their separate ways. Very simple, right? But now, let's say in another tale later on, you find that John and Scott are deadly enemies. They're engaged in a years-long feud and hate each other's guts. They are constantly trying to kill each other, they're constantly out to get one another. This may seem like a contradiction, but considering the encouragement of headcanons, it's kind of just left up to the reader which version of this character dynamic you prefer, and then these canons get built on. So for example, there may be then more stories developing the friendly relationship between John and Scott, and then, on the other side, more tales could be released where they are at each other's throats. The concept and the validity encouragement of headcanons actually works really well with the community writing aspect of SCP, and I just think that it kind of works perfectly. It is the perfect thing to introduce to this world. And once I begin covering the actual SCPs, we will find that headcanons become necessary very quickly. Thank you for listening to this video on headcanons. I really do think that this is an incredibly important concept to understand early on, so that when we get into reading and actually learning about more individual SCPs and items and people, you can get a better knowledge of, hey, this doesn't have to be a thing. If you think, oh, this doesn't fit within my sort of idea of things happening, then that's fine. It doesn't fit in your idea of things happening. Remove it from your idea of things happening. And that is great, and that is what headcanons are for. I've got a couple more of these lined up before we begin on actual SCP items. So, in the next video, we will be talking about the Foundation itself and the sort of hierarchy within it. This, I definitely do believe, is important to understand, and moving forward, all of this knowledge will make reading every article much more simple.